It'd be fine. I'll be right back. Okay. Then you would call to order.
This one over here.
Oh, I'm sorry. Dr. Newsom.
Yeah, y'all want me to read?
I didn't shift fully in my brain. There we go.
Okay. Dr. Kirkland, you ready to start?
I'm ready. So, Ms. Downs, I'm John Bertley. I'm the director of the Arkansas State Board of Pharmacy. I'm going to tell you a little about who you're talking to this morning and how this process goes a little bit. We call this the informal conference, and you're here today because there was something on your application that we needed to discuss with you. In this interaction, this side of the table, we are staff members here at the Board of Pharmacy. Myself, Dr. Brendan McCready is our assistant director, and we have 4 of our pharmacy board members, Dr. Brian Jolly, Dr. Lynn Krause, Dr. Lenore Newsom, who's the chair of this committee, and Dr. Rodney Rick. Generally in this, they have just received a copy of the same materials that you've got in front of you, and we'll give them a couple minutes to look at those. Dr. McCready will just give a brief overview while we're here, and as they look at that, I'm sure they're going to have some questions for you. In this interaction, at the end of it, they usually come up with some kind of an answer. It could be anything from we would go to grant her application, deny her application, or they may ask for some other consideration or table it and say they would reconsider it at a future date. The most important thing about that is whatever they come up with, you can either agree or disagree with. If you agree with it, we go forward with whatever our board members tell us to do. And if you disagree, you kind of have 2 choices. One is to say, forget this and kind of walk away. The other is to say, well, I would like to have a full hearing before the full board at a later date. The full board is actually all 8 members of the board. We've got a hearing officer, a court reporter, swear everybody in, and it looks a little bit more like actually going to court, like if you've ever been to court, or if you ever watched it on TV, more official like that. So do you have any questions about why you're here today?
I don't.
Do you have any questions about the process? If at any point during this, you need to ask us a question, or if something's confusing, realizing you've never kind of been in this situation before, by all means, raise your hand, get our attention, and ask us any questions that you got. Okay, all right.
Okay, this is late system.
Yeah,
We got
and-
one more board member coming in. Good
This is-
morning. Good morning.
Our other board member, Harold Simpson. All right. Dr. Brady, if you're going to give us just a quick overview.
Good morning. I'm Brendan McCready. I'm the assistant director here at the board. Ms. Downs has filled out an application for a pharmacy technician registration. We had some information from that on her background check. She did disclose in her application that something will come back. It came back as an accomplice to the delivery of methamphetamine and cocaine. That arrest was ultimately dismissed, but and she has had it sealed. So because it was a felony drug arrest, she felt that she had to.
And she did disclose to us that it happened. So.
Okay, Ms. Downs, you want to tell us a little bit about the situation that you got yourself into?
Sure. So it was a couple of years ago. I was with a family friend who I trusted, and I would let them use my car if they were to work. And then, to my surprise, they were using my vehicle to sell drugs. So,
So Ms. Downs, you said a couple of years ago, was this really 2014? That's what I've got in
oh, it was 2019. I don't
2009.
I'm not sure.
Okay.
So were you with them at the time? So you're just you got involved because your vehicle registration?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So, did your car get seized?
It did,
Did you get it back?
I did.
So, who are your friends now? Who are your friends? Who are you hanging out with?
Who are they?
Yeah. Are you, have you separated from the?
Yes, of course, I have not seen them since this
Okay,
incident.
okay. And what brings you to the world of pharmacy?
My mom's been a pharmacy tech since, I don't know, since, for like 10 plus years. And I just find it interesting.
What are you currently doing? You graduated high school in, Conway in 2017, so what have you been doing since then?
I worked as a CNA. I have worked as a preschool teacher. And currently I am working at Walgreens trying to get this license to work.
What are you doing at Walgreens now?
I'm just a customer associate at the moment,
Okay,
but I was hired like to be a pharmacy tech,
okay.
but until we got to the agreement.
So right now, every time they say, I see three, you gotta run somewhere,
Yeah.
instead of being able to be back in the box.
Yeah,
So did you change jobs? Did this arrest have any influence on you being a preschool teacher?
no. I just recently left that job. So I was there for 2.5, almost 3 years.
So just to be clear, this is one incident,
Yes.
okay, because we've got 3 dates. 2014 is the summary. 2018 was in your statement, but the seal records say February 14th of 19.
Yes, this happened in the 19th. I'm not sure what's coming up for the 14th. I was 15 at the time.
So,
That's just a mistyped number on the cover sheet.
but in her statement, she says 28.
Yeah.
And then the record says 29. So it's 2019.
It's 2019.
Okay.
My apologies.
You get to the one that said the more person that was counting.
So you didn't have any role in selling the drug?
I did not.
Okay.
What did you think they were using your car for?
They told me that they were job searching. I didn't have any reason to believe that they were. It was a surprise.
Then did you say, I don't want you to say your name, did you say this was a family member?
It was a family friend.
Family friend.
I'll make a motion. I'll make a motion to,
I have a motion by Dr. Carlson, second by Dr. Richardson. Is there any further discussion? All in favor of the motion, signify by saying aye. Any nays? Motion passes. So, we get your tech license today.
Thank you.
So you can wear another hat when you go back to work. Are you scheduled to work today?
No, tomorrow.
Tomorrow, okay. Okay. Got a day to celebrate.
For sure, they've been waiting on me.
don't tell them to this afternoon, that may want you to come in this afternoon.
Yeah.
Tell them this afternoon, we're back on this.
They're all right.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
is it perfect? Paperwork slow.
No, we're gonna take care of it.
I'm gonna get you.
I'm just on the sugar hill.
Best of luck to you.
Thank you so much.
Next up, we will have Kathy. Ms. Downs, if you want to have a seat up front, we'll get that for you real quick.
Sure, thank you.
Yes. Voting. So. Well, you saying that? There you go. Yeah, really, right now, probably.
Brenda, we're gonna give you. Documentary comes out.
Oh, yeah, I don't know. How old is enough to retire?
That's it.
Good morning. Good morning. How are you all?
My worries.
All right, this is Miss Kathy, who I think is number 2. Yes. I went ahead and explained the procedure to all the folks we have waiting this morning so they know it. Miss Kathy, before we start, do you have any questions before the board members start going over your application?
Yes.
Okay, they've got a copy of the exact same materials that you do. We usually let Dr. McCready give us just a brief overview of what the issue is with the application while we're here today, and then I know the board members will want to look at it and probably have some questions for
Yes, sir.
it. Okay.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I'm Brenda McCready, I'm the Assistant Director. We received your application and when we ran your criminal background check, some information came back on it. You did not disclose that information, you didn't tell us that you had been arrested or any charges filed or that you've been convicted of anything. And so that we have to bring before the board to discuss that this morning. She did have a charge that was actually converted to juvenile court. It was a theft of property that she was convicted of. It was, she was actually arrested on a felony charge of robbery, theft of property, and battery in the 3rd degree. The battery and theft of property were both misdemeanors. She was 17 years old at the time of that offense. When I went through Court Connect and looked up just her criminal history, there seemed to be some other arrests, and she could tell us what those are about.
You want to know about all of the ones that you were saying? So the first one, I was 17 years old. I was hanging around family members and we went to a store. They proceeded to take items, but the thing that I was in was when the men came after and I helped them get the men. Yes, I was young and didn't understand what I was doing, but at the time when I did not take anything, at that time. So in 2019, that's when I had got another charge, which was theft of property. Yes, I did take something then, and ever since then I haven't taken anything.
That 2019 charge, where were you? What did you say?
I was at the mall and it was closed.
So you was shoplifting,
Yes, ma'am.
and did you were you arrested for that?
I did not. They handcuffed me, and then they just told me I can go, and then they signed me for a court date, and I went to court.
And were you found guilty?
I pleaded guilty. Yes, I just pleaded guilty. Yes.
Any other arrests that you were?
No, ma'am, no other arrests. I really forgot about the first arrest because I was like, I haven't been charged with this, so I didn't even think that like this was even on my record or even show that like I've been charged like for felony and all of that. So that's why I didn't mention to you all from the beginning.
So an arrest as a minor went to juvenile court, and then an arrest as an adult at 19.
Well, I guess it wasn't a race, yes, ma'am, yeah. I was 19. I was 19, so, yes, ma'am.
And that's been 2 years ago.
I guess 3 years ago.
So if you look on your application, that page 2 has the criminal history questions. Why'd you answer no on all of those?
I didn't read, I was rushing. I didn't read it properly. I did not. And all I seen was, have you ever been convicted? And I know I've never been convicted, so I just seen it and just marked no.
But you pled guilty
On which one?
on the second.
2019?
Yeah.
Yes, but I never got sentenced. So that's why I was like, well, I haven't been convicted. I didn't do time behind her.
Well, you can be convicted and not have to go to jail.
I did.
So you had to pay fines, I bet.
I did.
Did they put you on probation?
I just paid fines, I'm not on probation.
Did you pay those bonds at the time of that?
No, I'm still, actually, I still owe them, I'm still paying on them.
Were you ever held in contempt of court for failure to pay those bonds?
Was I ever held?
In contempt?
Yes, I
For
was.
paying those fines?
I didn't have a job then, so.
You understand in pharmacy that, I mean, when you read a prescription, you gotta read the whole prescription.
Yes, sir.
I mean, you miss half of the beginning of the directions and you could kill somebody.
Yes, sir.
So when you read this paragraph, it says, have you ever been cited, comma, arrested for, comma, charged with, comma, or convicted? We want to know if you, even if you've just been cited, whether it went full conviction or not, we want to know cited, arrested, charged, convicted. So you got to read the whole thing.
Yes, sir.
So why do you want to be a pharmacy technician?
Because I like taking care of people and also I feel like I'm just another chance and scenario for my son to provide better for him. Just something different, something I never done before. I did CNA, but I haven't been punchy, so I just want to try something different.
Do you know what side it is?
I do not know, sir.
When you don't know what award means, what do you do?
Look at
Where?
Google.
So the first incident was when you were 17. You're 25 years old now.
I'm 25.
Okay, so that was 8 years. ago.
Yes, sir.
And then 5 years later, you had the 2019 event.
Yes, sir.
So that was 3 years.
3 years.
What was it?
When I feel shop. Shop.
Another theft of property.
He's looking for that.
I was looking for the document on that.
Oh, if you go to
Page 15, I believe, is the plea. Page 14 starts some of the court document.
11
Thank
lists the theft of property, and the guilty plea, resisting arrest, refusal to submit to arrest.
Oh, you said you should, I heard it was a CNA.
I was just,
You work, or what are you doing there?
right now I'm at a hotel, but I still do 101. I didn't have a patient, I do 101, but I was in the healthcare at the
So you no longer doing that?
I am, I'm doing 101, but I was in the,
Oh,
101 is like when you go to the house, you take care of them. It's like caregiving, but I was in the 101.
Oh, 101.
But when I did go,
Okay.
what is it, the nursing home, I used to work at the nursing home. I think that's right. And I just got working there in June.
Are you a tax somebody? You help, I mean,
I did, yes ma'am, I did. Yes, ma'am.
yeah. How many of y'all were involved in that?
Well, they only had arrested 4 of us, but it was a lot, because it was my, family friends was there, but they only arrested 4 of us. What took us down, unfortunately.
Now you know you're not supposed to be touching anybody else.
Oh, no, yeah, I was young, and
So that's the second time you've said that. You were 17.
I'm not saying something.
Are you really saying that at 17 years old, you don't know that it's wrong to steal?
Well, I say
You don't
young,
know it's wrong to tax?
yes, but when I say I'm young, meaning my actions, because when you're older, you know what not to do, you live your life better, But when you're young, you want to live it wild and live it your way. But when you experience things and go through things and as you get older. So that's when I say I was young. I guess young mind.
Well, generally, at 17 years old, you're late junior, early senior year of high school, you're making college decisions. I mean, lots of people making college decisions.
I wasn't.
Have you, got a job lined up or talked to anybody about pharmacy technicians?
I have talked to people about it. I looked at Walgreens, I was gonna apply, but when we came back, that I guess I was I lied on the application and I just stopped filling out applications for it. But I had one for Walgreens.
Would you say that you were still young-minded when you shoplifted in 2019, 3 years ago?
I didn't run my list.
And then, but you must not have learned it because the next year you were in attempted court.
Attempted court. When I failed to pay,
Yeah.
I didn't have a job and I was struggling. I'm still struggling.
So things have consequences.
Yes.
And it also costs a lot of money.
We need it. It's catching up.
Oh, yeah, it's a lot of money. It's a lot that I can do with that amount of money. But now, you see how it affects others. The things you do affect others. There's a cost associated somewhere. Someone needs to pay. That's a hard lesson to learn.
On one hand, things look like kind of birth pain, 8 years, 5 years, 1 year, between incidents. It was 8 years altercation, and then only been 5 years. You look and look back. So there's a 5-year gap, and then a 1-year gap between those incidents. And that was only 2 years.
For me, this is a problem. It's not easy. But
Look, you're in the times.
good luck. Can I ask you another question? So in your statement, you talk about some changes that you made, but you don't go into a whole lot of detail. Can you tell us a little bit about, since the mistake in 2019, shoplifting control? What are some things that you've done to change your mind?
Well, I'm gonna go from the beginning. 2016, I had my son. And that's when I said, okay, well, I want to change. So I started going to church. And then I would go every Sunday. And I still didn't learn. I was, you know how if they say you're halfway in, but you're halfway out. And so I was half in and half out, still was kind of doing what I was doing, but I wasn't going out when I had my son, but still doing what I was basically doing. So when 2019 came, and I got caught, at that time I was pregnant again, but I don't have to wait now. I was pregnant at that time again, and I knew for sure, okay, now you have I think at that time my son was 3. So now you have a 3-year-old, and now you got to have another unborn child. Some type of change has to come. So when they arrested me, and they didn't let me go to jail. I'm just telling you my testimony, because this is my story, I'm not making it. So when they arrested me, I really was just praying, asking God, Lord, just give me another chance. So when they let me go, when they let me go, I literally went to the BJ's, in Upper Rock, there's a restaurant, it's called BJ's Restaurant. And I went in the bathroom, and I thank God, I cried in the stall. I didn't care who was in there, I just thank God, I said, Lord, I thank you for bringing me out. Thank you for letting me in the church, and ever since then, I haven't. And now I lead and I worship, which is worship is singing. So I'm a leader in my church everywhere, like ministry, and I sing for God. So.
Any more questions? Let's carry it. Please, Sabrina.
I can see how.
Check. Okay, I'd like to hear the motion, please.
I move that we grant Ms. Kathy a pharmacy technician license today. I hear all the things that have happened. I also hear you're trying to improve yourself. You got to get that chance. I'm willing to try and help you get that chance, but I don't want to see you here before us again. What I don't want to see is if I walk in the pharmacy and you're filling out prescriptions.
You said.
Okay, so I'll make that motion to give her that one.
Second.
All right, I have a motion by Dr. Richmond and a second by Mr. Simpson. Any questions? All in favor of the motion, signify by saying aye. Any nays? The motion passes. Okay, you'll get
Oh
the
my
chance.
gosh, thank you so much, thank y'all. Can I say it while I'm right here? I just gotta say hallelujah. Hallelujah! Thank you, Jesus. Thank you, God. Thank you, God. God, thank you, Jesus. 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 Thank you, Jesus.
Ms. Catherine, you are looking for a job, you're interviewing potential employers, be sure to share these problems that you've had in the past and emphasize what you've done to overcome them, getting the board support.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much.
Christine Welch.
Yes.
Marijuana.
All right, Ms. Welch, I know you've already kind of heard the procedure of how this works. Before we kick it over to Dr. McCray, give a quick overview. Do you have any questions about how the process works? Okay, at any point, once again, if you have any questions, just you raise your hand, get our attention, and let us know.
Do I look at you guys or do I look at straight?
These are the decision makers here.
Okay, yes.
Dr. McCray?
Good morning, my name is Brittany McCurdy, I'm the Assistant Director. We received your technician application, we ran a criminal history, it did come back, although you did let us know that it would. It came back with a theft of property conviction from 8/20/2010 and a possession of marijuana charge from 3/8/2019. And I will turn it over to the board.
All right, you want to tell us about the incident that brought you here today?
Well, the first one, this was technically shoplifting. I was with someone who I did, in fact, think was a friend. I was making some terrible decisions. I just lost my daughter. And so excuse, I was naive to the notion that you are the company you keep. And, I was convinced to make some bad decisions. I was under the impression that if I did not leave the store myself with something that I wasn't guilty, but that's also not true. I did in fact know that she was stealing and I let it happen.
And you said the first incident or the second one?
The second one, I used to smoke marijuana and I did have it in my house. The police showed up looking for an associate of my ex-husband. And he wasn't there, so I let him in to look for him. There was marijuana found. I claimed it and I was charged with it. The judge asked me to get a medical marijuana card and they would not process my charges. I ended up getting pregnant with my now 2-year-old before I did that. And so I was charged with possession of marijuana. I no longer smoke. I did eventually get my medical marijuana card. However, I have surrendered it to the pharmacy that I now work for, who are amazing people. They've given me opportunities that I don't deserve, really. I've got 3 kids that I take care of by myself. I just want to be able to live my life and theirs.
How long ago was these charges?
One was probably 12 years ago. That was the shoplifting charge. The other one, it actually happened in, I believe, 2018. I could be wrong. I went to court over it for over a year, and then I was eventually charged in 2019.
How long did you work at Rogers Pharmacy?
I've been there since July of this year.
What do you do there?
I'm a clerk. I answer the phones. I run a cash register.
Where's that
It's in Walnut Ridge.
Which roads?
Rogers Pharmacy, it's a very, Rogers Pharmacy, it's a very small family-owned, family-ran pharmacy there.
You said you surrendered your medical marijuana card to the pharmacist. Just give them the card.
I did.
You know that you can't.
I signed a drug-free policy. I'm subject to be drug tested at any time.
With the,
With your board.
Yes.
When's the last time, I want to ask you, when's the last time that you did this?
It was before I got hired at the pharmacy. It was probably June of this year. And my employer and a few of my coworkers also wrote letters. I'm not sure if you guys want to see them, but
You have them with you?
I do.
I would pass them over, let them see.
so June of this year was the last time you used marijuana?
Yes, sir.
You got a drug screen since then?
When I got hired, I did not get a drug screen, but I did admit that I would fail one. He has not screened me since.
When was the last time?
In June of this year.
I don't see anything in here about marijuana, so are they aware?
They are. Some of your boards here a lot of they have become my closest friends and family even. I've made relationships with customers and they're really good.
Do you have questions?
Did a good support system outside of work?
Absolutely. I have my church family who help me with my children while I'm at work. They help me pick them up in the afternoons. My mom, she lives about an hour and a half away from me, but she helps me with my kids every other weekend. They really help me out a lot. I couldn't do anything without them.
So you said you agreed with your employer to have a random drug test at any time,
Yes, sir.
so they have a way of going about doing that.
Yes, sir.
I'm kind of hard line on marijuana. I'm not a fan of anybody who uses marijuana. It is the next biggest pain on our society. And if you, the shoplifting thing was 12 years ago, I overlooked that. But marijuana charge, no matter how much the amount, 2019 was recent, in June is even more recent, it's like yesterday. But with the support structure and whatnot, if you can get a urine drug test done by end of business tomorrow, I will be okay. End of business tomorrow.
Is there, well, I live 2 hours away. Is there a place local that I can do it today?
Whatever, wherever.
That's why I
You can fax it.
You can send it in.
Or fax it, or well, email.
Are you wanting to have one of like our drug test or just somewhere else?
That's why I asked if the pharmacy said that she could do a random drug test. That's why I asked if there was a method that they had set up, just use that. I don't need the results,
Yeah,
but
we probably have to ask them to see if they have that actually actively set up. But we could call and ask.
so we can table this until we figure that out.
I would suggest that what we do is we approve the application contingent on the completion of the test, so that
By
approval will
tomorrow.
become effective.
By end of tomorrow.
Yeah, I don't know.
Will they get the results like that?
They have, yeah,
She could take it tomorrow, we wouldn't get the results for that.
yeah.
But
I just want the test to be done,
Yeah.
right away.
we could also, it would take us just a little bit, we could probably set her up through our account that would report directly to us, because our drug tests are unblinded. So it's the full actual results of it, just takes a little bit to set up. We could probably get it set up over lunch, I would say, contact her. They generally have, I mean, I know they've got lab testing sites here, I don't know about Walker Ridge. So we could try the next couple hours to get it set up.
How far are you from Jonesboro?
I'm about 35 minutes from Jonesboro.
So the one that we usually use is in Little Rock. They do charge, it's $50 or $80, I want to say, for a drug screen that you have to pay, check or credit card generally. Is that an issue?
No, sir.
We can check if the employer has one set up, we can do that, or we can do ours, you call back. If you don't care which one we do.
I'm just, I want something that's right away.
Okay. I
I
bet we-
don't have time to lapse, and sometime next week, and then you'll get back.
Let me, I'll have our staff call the pharmacy, if they've got one set up that they can actually just get her right into them, with that, we just do that.
Okay.
Fair.
So I'll make that motion.
Make a motion, I get a second.
Also,
Okay. I have a motion by Dr. Richardson and a second by Dr. Jolly. Any further discussion? If not, all in favor of the motion, signify by saying aye. Any nays? Motion passes.
Okay, so if you want to have a seat up front, we'll have our staff check on that, see which one of the two methods will be.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. Good stuff. Mr. Scholes, come on up. Mr. Scholes, you've seen kind of how this process works. Do you have any questions before we get started?
No, sir. Thank y'all for having me. I just did kind of want to clarify.
We've got a clarification on the front page, Dr. McCrae's going to tell about as well. So it's probably the same.
They told me I had, but, yeah, I'll let you clarify those when you testify, but I was gonna tell them that that is incorrect on that.
Thank you.
Mr. Scholes had applied for a pharmacy technician permit. He did disclose that he had been arrested, the 2021 date on there is incorrect, and I'll have to explain to you how he was arrested. There is more than one alcohol related incident, and whenever that happens, we do require them to come before the board. So we'll go to Mr. Scholes.
First of all, I know these are not light charges, and I know the seriousness of them, and know there are consequences which are coming forward 13 years later, me being here. I did want to clarify the first DWI was 2005, the voting incident was 2006, and then the second DWI was in 2009. But since then, learned my lesson. Had a few children, full custody. I work in Conway. I owned Jimmy John's since I was 23, so I guess the past 13 years. Trying to get a pharmacy technician license so that I can help my dad, who's had Blanford Pharmacy for 38 years. When his employee's sick or something happens, I can fill in and be there for support for him. And so I just ask that y'all give me a chance to do that.
I think you want to put us a little bit about the business, from 05 or 06 and 09. What exactly happened?
2005 was my senior year, and I was arrested for DWI. And then that following year, in 2005, I had some large fines to pay. I had to complete 80 hours of community service. And then in 2006, we had a boat wreck on Lake Hamilton. And that's when I got boating while intoxicated. And that was scary, but I still think I was just young and stupid, and I didn't take it. I didn't learn my lesson. And then when I was in college, my senior year in Conway, I got a DWI and required classes to complete, and not quit drinking. Because I was taking 21 hours to get out of school, and I really had to wake up, and I haven't had a problem since then, and I haven't wanted to go back to serving time or paying fines, risking killing somebody. I feel like being older now that I'm not going to put myself at risk and get in a vehicle if I've been drinking, and just want to continue on.
Okay, so you gave up drinking.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
I drink now.
You did drink here?
Yes.
Why?
Well, I mean, I don't really drink that much on time with these kids, but I just want to let you know I quit for that last semester of my college when this happened. But yeah, I'll have a drink every now and then.
Okay. Well, you know you got these 3 charges on you.
Yes, ma'am.
And what's gonna happen when you get in trouble again?
I don't want to get in trouble again. I'm not going to drink and drive, and I can't risk that for my kids, and I'm the only one they have.
Okay. So you may think about it's not taking that risk at all
Yes,
because
ma'am.
of your past history. This is one of those things that it will be easy for you to get caught up in again and not realize it until you're in big trouble. So since you got that past history. So just think on those terms.
Yes, ma'am.
You say you want to help your dad? You want to help your dad?
Yes.
Tell me about that relationship.
Yeah, I grew up in a pharmacy, working the cashier, answering phones and running errands for him. And he's had some really good employees, and this past year it's been harder for him to find help. And it's kind of seemed like he's gone through several employees, and when he does, he's down there by himself, and we've been talking, and I have a very flexible schedule during the daytime, and so I want to be able to come in and help him out. He's getting older now, and it's just a lot on him just to do it all by himself. So I want to go there, be able to help him out.
I love what you're doing, and that's a great thing. And the most part of this is just to have that, time with your dad at this point. in your
I know.
life's life. You know, so that's a big thing. I'm proud of you for wanting to come forward and do that. Does anybody else have any questions?
Clarification from the staff based on the cover sheet. So how many of the years, whether
Five, there were three.
Okay.
5, 6, and 9.
so nothing in 20?
Nothing in 20.
Okay. Have you ever been treated for alcoholism?
No, sir.
Have you ever used any other drug?
No, sir.
Have you ever used marijuana?
Yes, sir.
And how long ago?
In college, and it freaks
How
me
long
out.
ago?
12 years ago.
Okay.
2000.
You ever used both opiates?
Opiates? No, sir.
Prescription?
No, sir.
Illicit heroin?
No, sir.
When's the last time you had a drink?
Probably a week ago when we were at Lake Hamilton.
You weren't driving the boat?
No, sir.
Okay.
Boat's broken right now, actually. But I wasn't there.
Mr. Simpson?
Okay.
If we, allow Mr. Schultz to get his pharmacy tech license.
Second.
Okay, I have a motion and a second, that the license be granted. Any further discussion?
I'll just encourage them, give them some encouragement. Keep that alcohol use in check.
And I would say, general guidance, if the board waives something with, multiple alcohol instances, if there's another DUI, DWI, public intox, or anything else, they're gonna tell us to take it further. Whether they want to give it to us or if they want to have a hearing. But at that point, it's going to be, if you have any interest in being in the pharmacy later, we're gonna ask you to go to a facility somewhere out of state and get intensive evaluation and everything else.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Alcohol, and marijuana, they're just, you play with fire and you're gonna get burned. If you want to be in pharmacy, you need to separate yourself from any excessive or illicit drug use. Alcohol is legal, but it doesn't mean you can be intoxicated. So be cautious.
Yes, sir.
Okay, all in favor of the motion, signify by saying aye. Any nays? Because you never know when you will have an emergency. With your children, with your dad, you're at home just kicking back drinking. And see, you have to make a decision. Do I stay where I am or do I get on the road to go see about it? But you never know when something will happen. So it's best not to do it. It's for your own sake.
Yes, ma'am. No, thank you all very much for considering it.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Student, yeah. Yes, right up there. Yeah,
So 5 seconds, so.
yeah.
Well, how y'all feel?
It's fine.
All right, next we've got Terrence Mitchell. Mr. Mitchell, who do you have with you today?
I have Ms. Connie Pruitt, she's my attorney.
Okay, Ms. Pruitt, welcome to the Board of Pharmacy. I think you've heard the procedure half a dozen times already. Do you guys have any questions about how it works or any questions about why you're here?
I don't have any questions.
Okay. The thing that is a little bit different, since you do have legal counsel with you, if you need a timeout, if you guys need to talk for a second or anything, let us know. We are more than happy to apply for that. The description I often give to attorneys is much like mediation. You know, this is, if we reach an agreement today, then we reach an agreement. If we don't, then you kind of see where the other options are for an appeal to a full board hearing, or walk off.
Okay, great, thank you.
Absolutely. With that, I'm going to turn it over to Dr. Brady for a brief overview, and you guys should have it under tab number 8. And you have a copy as well.
Yes.
All right.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Mr. Mitchell applied for a durable medical equipment license. When he filled out his application, there are some questions on there regarding his criminal background. He did disclose that it's on page 10 of your packet. While we do not run criminal background checks on facilities, we do ask that question, and he did disclose that he had a couple of felonies, one a felony of possession of cocaine with intent to deliver. He negotiated a class Y felony. He delivered a sum of cocaine to a company to forward in exchange for cash. That was from May 3rd of 1998. He also had a sealed felony, no cross, that was from 9/23 of 1997 for the delivery of a Schedule II controlled substance, cocaine. And he said it was no cross due to a motion for the state with insufficient evidence based on the statement of the law. And with that, I will turn it over to the board.
Okay, Mr. Mitchell,
Yes, ma'am.
you want to tell us about these things that happened in the late 90s?
In the late 90s? Yes, ma'am. 97, 25 years ago. I was visiting a family member, and at the time they were selling drugs, and while my car was over there, they were investigating, and it naturally seemed like I may have had something to do with it. Like I said, like the paperwork said, they informed me, the professional came forward and said that I had nothing to do with the incident. So, okay.
How about 1998?
1998, that was a case where I was set up in the drug deal in Jefferson County.
What was that?
I was set up as a confidential informant. We agreed to exchange drugs and money, and he was a confidential informant, which I was arrested.
So you sold it, you just didn't know it was a confidential report.
Correct.
They basically did a sting, and you're the guy that got caught.
Correct.
How much coke was it?
About 8 ounces.
That's a lot of coke.
That is a lot, 8 ounces.
So you're saying in 97, you were kind of wrong place at the wrong time,
Yes, sir.
but yet a year later, you're selling 8 ounces of cocaine?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Have you used cocaine yourself?
No, sir.
No.
No, sir.
How about any other illicit drug? Marijuana,
So,
opiates, prescription drug,
so,
heroin,
so.
you use alcohol? Those are- I've had no run-ins with cocaine since 1998.
No, sir.
So what have you been doing in between?
Between what time, 98?
Yeah, 98, what brings you up to want to be in the medical field now?
Well, I was actually convicted and served time, 3 years and 9 months for that 98 charge. Since then, well, actually, while I was incarcerated, I was able to complete my state board test, so I have my license cosmetologist. I did that before I was released. Since then, have done extensive training in my hair loss field. I'm a non-surgical hair loss replacement specialist. I'm a social trichologist, which is considered paramedical. A medical esthetician, and I have a nonprofit. A nonprofit, Extend My Hair Foundation, where I help people that suffering from cancer or any other type of illness, then they need coverage. Yes, sir.
What all procedures do you do as an esthetician?
As an esthetician, body contouring, skin tightening, laser hair removal, tattoo removal.
So laser, you're trained with lasers and.
Yes, sir.
Okay. It's funny, and you know this better than I would, but some estheticians do one thing, and like that's it, and some of them it's Botox, some of them it's laser hair removal, it's always interesting to see, some of them it's chemical peels mainly, and then.
I do everything that my license, I learned a long time ago, but everything that my license will allow me to do, as best as I try to do it.
Where's your business, but where are you located at?
I'm located in Alvin, Arkansas, 1004 Dodge Street is my business location.
Okay, what type of DME are you going to, tell us a little bit about your DME application.
Well, with my DMA application, it will tie into my business structure. With my non-surgical hair replacement, I am considered a medical wig supplier, which is DME. Also, I forgot to tell you, I'm a vasectomy care as well, for post-op breast cancer patients. So the inserts and the bras, they are considered durable medical equipment as well. So with that being combined, I thought it would be just fitting to do it all concerning DME.
It would help you be able to bill insurance rather than the patient having to pay up front and seek reimbursement.
Yes, sir. Well, also right now, I do accept insurance for my hair loss clients. I'm just waiting on my accreditation for my bill.
Yeah.
I'm assuming since he's before us, we might have any conflicts in terms of development.
No, if he was trying to get a full wholesale license
Yeah.
for drugs with a controlled substance or to work in a pharmacy, he would have if you're working with controlled substances, there's a part of the Code of Federal Regulations. This will probably make more sense to you, but 21 CFR 1301.76, that if you have a drug felony and they don't care if you have a governor or presidential pardon with EPA, they don't care. It prohibits you from being able to work with controlled substances unless you have a waiver specific to EPA, which they grant like 3 years. So, but he's not asking for any controlled substance, so it doesn't really invoke 1301.76.
Any other questions?
Let's make a motion and you allow us to.
Okay, we have a motion in a second. By Dr. Ross and Dr. Richmond. Any further discussion? All in favor of the motion, signify by saying aye. Any nays? Get your license.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
And thanks for the work that you're out there doing. That's especially the next generation of people.
Yes, ma'am.
Take care. So thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Mitchell, I should have came and seen you a long time ago.
Yeah.
I can still help you.
Well, we can't go back and put it on the next record, just like you.
Have a good day.
Thank you.
If you'll hold on just a minute, I'll see if that's something we can even issue today. Ooh,
Okay.
Well, I thought, although we need an inspection. Okay. I think that on that one, usually they do set up an inspection beforehand, so you have your facility ready to go and everything.
Well, actually, I'll be selling online.
Okay.
Do I say?
Do you have an office though that you're going to have?
Yes, sir.
I'll get with the inspection staff and see if they can come take a look at it. Okay, thank you guys.
Thank you.
The next one is Super Bowl. There is also a correction on the days on these. This is actually 9:30 to 20:20. I guess, I can't even say it is.
Who did you just say? I'm so sorry.
Super long.
Super Bowl.
That's right.
Good morning, how you doing?
Can you set the correction with what?
The day,
The date was, the possession of controlled substance was 9/30/2020. It's just on the summary sheet.
So 3 years sooner,
Yeah,
closer.
So I know you kind of heard the procedure, overview. Do you have any questions about why you're here or how the process works? Okay, with that, I'm gonna turn over to Dr. McCready to give a brief overview of why we're here. And then I think after that, the board members are usually gonna have some questions to talk to you.
Good morning, I'm Brittany McCready, I'm the assistant director. We received your technician application. We did disclose that there would be something that came back from the criminal background. And that you are in the process of having it sealed. Is it civil? Ms. Siobhan had a possession of controlled substance and drug paraphernalia arrest in 9/3/2020. She is currently, she may have completed at this point, and she may continue that, but we went into a diversion status where if she didn't get any trouble or have any other issues, that it would be dismissed after a certain amount of time. And I'll turn it over to you.
Okay, you wanna tell us what's going on in your life for you to get in this type of trouble?
Well, I was diagnosed with chronic migraine since I was 12 years old. So, on my step to pain management therapy, I ran into, trying medicinal marijuana. I did have my medical card at the time of being arrested, but I didn't have it presentable. So I didn't have the physical card in my possession. So that is what caused me to, I guess, get in trouble with the law.
Okay, so you're using the marijuana at this time presently?
No. I have not had a card for marijuana for about 2 or 3 years. I've been seeing a neurologist and exploring other options, pain management wise.
But you did have a marijuana card at the time of the warrants, just not in your possession.
Yes,
Was the marijuana that you had in your possession street marijuana or from a dispensary?
dispensary.
And so it did not have the label with your information on it as required?
Well, the labels just show like the, I guess the dispensary that harvests it. It doesn't have information on the patient. So they couldn't find it plausible at the time.
That's because sometimes we'll see cases where, the person may present a marijuana card, but it's a baggie with a twist tie on it that they know is, blank street weed rather than through a dispensary.
Yeah. They usually label, I think they always label the product, but I don't know, they put the patient's name on there, I didn't think.
I thought some did, and there was a lot of discussion about whether or not it should have that. It does have that dispensary and that's a strain.
I'm hoping they're the labels, prescription marijuana, so they don't.
Not the ones I've seen.
You would think,
Yeah,
but
It was,
this is another story we can talk about later.
So was this a traffic stop?
The person that I was in the vehicle with was speeding past, a parked cop vehicle at the time.
Okay.
I was not the driver, I was in the passenger seat, so.
all right. That's when you go by and go, wait a minute, that's not good.
Yeah,
All right, so you weren't driving?
No.
So, well, it doesn't matter whether she was under the influence at the time or an operator. So, but for not having your card on you, why did they even ask you? Did they search the car?
yes, they did. The driver gave, permission to search the vehicle because, there seemed to be a stench in the vehicle, so.
So, but for having the card on you, you were legally possessing it, you just didn't have your card to prove it.
Yes,
But you realize that, now you're applying for a tech license, so you understand that you cannot use marijuana. I understand you got rid of your card, but you can't get it back either. I mean, you can have a card and be a citizen, constitutional right. But you cannot work in a pharmacy and have a medical marijuana card, use marijuana.
yes, that's understood.
Okay.
Where do you want to get pharmacy technician?
After getting in trouble about 2 or 3 years ago, I did explore other options of pain management. So I've just been really into medicine for the past couple of years.
So have you been in the pharmacy or talked to a pharmacist about a job or anything?
Yes, I currently work for Walgreens in Bella Vista, so I've just been doing cashier duties, checking out patients.
Okay.
If there are no further questions, I have a motion.
Hey,
I'll move with approve the license.
I said,
Okay, got a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All those in favor of the motion, signify by saying aye. Any nays? Motion passes. I have a question for you. On your diploma, you have another seal on there. So your undergraduate, what is the little seal for?
I was an honor student.
A seal for Harvard College.
I have been taking care of my little brother. He's a big responsibility in my life, so just school and taking care of a kid that isn't necessarily mine has kind of gotten in the way, but I'm very close with my pharmacist, so we have been exploring options about going back to school to do
Yeah.
pharmacy.
Okay, all right. All right, you got somebody there that's encouraging you, so right.
I really.
Give us a call at Harding.
You know, family matters, to take every family, but then you need to move up and on with your career. Okay. See those skills, Sean. Let me ask about this. I bet you're undergrad.
Yeah, I did college courses throughout my high school.
How many hours of credit?
Separate course, 20 hours.
How many hours of credit do you have?
I believe about 20. Yeah, I did it my junior year and my senior year.
I'd like to hear from you at Harding.
I will definitely try.
You got part of this?
No.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
So get the part of it.
Yeah.
He doesn't give away any. He does.
She's all her work.
there's not a picture on it.
Thank you so much.
And you.
So, to let you guys know, we had two, one of which said they were going to get off work to come. And the other one that just didn't respond, and the letter we send them is if you do not respond or do not show up on this date, it will be automatically denied.
Okay.
And so we were just going to deny those administratively, and if they,
Both of them.
if they want to appeal, they can.
This is Carter and Schroff.
So now we're down to 13. That's what we did.
Now we're up till noon.
So
We are done till noon.
we were 2 hours late yesterday for lunch, and now we're late lunch.
We done, we done. Can we
John,
not
you
sum
have
it up?
John, you
That's
have
what
a
people are
presentation
come on up.
prepared for us?
I could get the drug son to talk to you.
What are we getting seed for?
Let me go put some more.
I already heard it once.
All right, so we're, as far as we know, we're done till noon. If someone shows up earlier, we can run back in and get it.